Hello and welcome to the second episode in our series How to Dutch. In this episode we will be running through how you put together and how you wear the webbing that's used by the Dutch Army in the 1980s. As always, if you like the content that you see, don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on our other social media pages. So in this episode we're going to be going through the webbing that's used by the Dutch Army in the 1980s. Now it's an interesting mixture of different styles, so you've got 37 pattern, you've got US Alice, you've got some of the other US World War II patterns that are in this as well. You've also got some Canadian influences with the Respirator bag for the C3. As always, we'll be referring to a manual, so again, like in the last episode, we'll be referring to the Handbook for the Soldat 1983 because the 1985 version omits all the webbing sections in this. If you want a good episode on more of the history about the webbing and the comparisons with 37 pattern, I highly recommend Rifleman Moore. His YouTube channel does a really good episode called The Last of the 37 Pattern, where he goes into the webbing. So laid out on the table I have here all of the parts that you will require as described in the 1983 handbook. So going from the front to the back, we have here your waist belt, your strap for your respirator bag, and your pocket knife. We then have your entrenching tool, which is the plastic cover type with the folding entrenching tool inside. This is the type with the Alice connectors on the back. We then have your two X straps, your two brace connectors, and your canteen. Your canteen in here will consist of the cover, the plastic canteen, and a metal cup. You then also have your C3 respirator. Now if you want to know what goes into the contents here, on our Facebook page we have a post about the C3 respirator, and it shows all of the listed items for the peacetime contents for the C3 respirator. So the first item we're going to be going through here is the waist belt. This is very similar to the British 37 pattern or the British 58 pattern belt, in that it consists of a belt with these male and female type buckles, the adjuster pieces here. The other main addition is that it has the eyelets here for attaching various different pieces of equipment to. The way that these are adjusted is that you have a pin here which fits into this pocket here. It's really important when you're fitting your waist belt that you make sure that you add 1 or 2 centimeters to the overall size, so that when you're wearing your smock as you would in the field or any kind of warm layers, it still fits over. It's really important when you're putting it on as well that you make sure that it sits just above where your trouser belt is, because this is a waist belt, not a hip belt like you would find with modern webbing systems. The next thing I'm going to be showing you is the brace attachments, which are exactly the same as the British 37 pattern ones. So it consists of a buckle here, you then have a loop here, and then you then have your top part here. When you're putting these on, you will require 2 of them for your waist belt. What you need to do is you need to lay it flat on top of the belt, lift the gate, and then you fold over your belt and push through the material. Once you have it positioned in the correct place, push some more of the slackened belt through, push the barn gate down, and then pull to lock it in place like so. Once you've attached your brace attachment like this, the next item you'll require is your X straps, which look like this. Now, unlike with the British 37 pattern, there are actually 2 separate straps. One of them will have a loop here, which stops the straps from sliding around when you're running. Now, this is based off feedback from soldiers during the Second World War. What you want to do is you want to take the one with the loop, and you want to lay it out as such, with one part there and one part here. You want to take one end with your metal, pass it through the bottom one of the 2 loops here, and then pass it through the bottom part here. Now I like to tuck my additional length through the back here and just tuck underneath. You want to make sure that you've got the straps, the sewn parts of the straps here facing upwards. You then want to attach your other end to the furthest point from that brace attachment there and pass it through like so. This is so when you attach your other strap that will go through like so, it forms an X at the rear. Hence why these are called X straps, because it forms the letter X there. The next item you require is your entrenching tool. Now this is attached using the Alice system. There is an earlier type of shovel that is still seen into the 1980s, which is similar to the German style one, which has a attachment system like this on the rear. Now this is not awfully seen very much into the 1980s, and it doesn't feature in the 1983 manual, but you do occasionally see troops in footage still having this, as it was preferred over the shorter folding shovel, as it gives you greater leverage when you are digging. Now, in order to attach the Alice one, it states in the manual that it must go between the two straps here. In order to attach this, you will require the entire system to be flipped over. Now, with the Alice system, you have to pinch here and pinch the top and pull these two clasps up. In order to attach this, my suggested method is to push the material up from underneath and then push these gates downwards to lock in place. It will require some fiddling and some manoeuvring in order to get it on. Like so. In the manual it does state it should go in the middle, but you do see troops moving it to one side or the other for the purposes of comfort and for if you're getting in and out of vehicles a lot. So the next item you require is your canteen. Now this has the Second World War US style attachment system. So in order to attach this, you will require your belt. Now this should be sitting on the right hand side of your webbing above your right hip. In order to do this, you will need to push in part of the webbing attachment system onto this side until it folds over like so, and then you then need to do the same on the other side, which then allows the canteen to swing freely on your belt. So the next item in the manual that it states that you require for your webbing is your pocket knife. It states in the manual that this is then tied on to the left hand side and is kept in the left hand pocket of your trousers. However, most soldiers you would see would not attach the pocket knife to the webbing, but instead attach it onto their trouser belt so that you can have access to it when you're not wearing your webbing. The next items you'll require is your C3 respirator bag and your strap. Now, in order to attach this on the rear, you have two Velcro loops like so. These are attached to the strap via the Velcro. Now, this is placed on the left-hand side of the body. So you have your waist belt here and the strap that goes across your body like so. This is attached with the rear here. You lift up both of these two straps like so, and then you place the belt roughly where you get the cross part here like so, and then the respirator bag is then able to be worn on the body. So in this part of the video, we're now going to be showing you how to actually put the webbing on. Now, you remember earlier on in the video where I said that I wouldn't attach my pocket knife onto my webbing. I've instead attached it onto one of the belt loops on here and have placed it into my right hand pocket. The next thing you will require is your respirator bag. Now this requires the strap to go over your head, as the respirator bag sits on the left hand side of your body. Once you have found it to be in a comfortable position, you then take the other half of the strap and place it around your waist. If you have a particularly large waist, you do also find some soldiers would attach it round the leg as well. The next piece that you require is your now completed webbing. You then place your arms through the webbing like so, making sure that your waist strap or your waist belt is not twisted, and you then close it like so. I will then show you a 360-degree view of the webbing as you would wear it in combat.